Our next speaker, Dr. Amrita PP, is also a PhD holder from Amrita University, and she is an assistant professor at CIFACOR in cybersecurity, Amrita Vishwavidyapeeth in Coimbatore. Her research interests include steganography, steg analysis, watermarking, software obfuscation, and machine learning in cybersecurity. In this talk, she is going to be dealing with secure communication methods using steganography, watermarking, network protocols for covert communication, and introduce some obfuscation techniques. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. So I'll just share the screen. Dr. Amrita, if you could just pace yourself well so that you are done, in 10 minutes, and you can summarize your work in the last 2 minutes. That would be perfect because we do have a very tight agenda, and that's why. Okay, ma'am. Okay, so my talk is on covered. I hope you can see the screen, right? Yes, very well. Okay. So my talk is on different three methods which is used for covered communication. So why we need this, and what are the three methods? We all know that we have large amount of data that is being generated and it is transferred electronically. So to protect this, usually we usually think of encryption. But what is a small drawback is that the eavesdropper draws the attention, and he tries to intercept the communication. So another rapid growing method is steganography, which is used for the secure communication. The second need is, we know that because of the low cost of data duplication and dissemination, that digital rights problems occurs, and this brings huge economic losses. So for this, we introduce the second method, that is a watermarking. And the third one is we know that reverse engineering is possible in most of the open source softwares and all. So to mitigate the risk of this, we use the obfuscation techniques. So steganography, it's a form of embedding information in the media like text, images, videos, and audios, and in such a way that it reaches only the intended user can recover that. So eavesdropper cannot detect the presence of the message. And also here the importance is it need not be strong against the security, like removing or modifying the hidden message. And also we can make a double protection on steganography by incorporating the crypto. That is, the secret data can be encrypted, and then
Dr. Amrita, we can't see your PPT because your people tab is in between. Maybe you have to minimize that.
Okay. That's fine, Amrita. Actually, we are running out of time. Just please go ahead. Okay. Okay, so another detection of this is the steg analysis. So this is a chronological based development in steganography. And so starting from 1985, the LSB embedding, it reached up till the using the GAN for steganographic methods. So in the middle of this year, that is 2010, what happened is they focused on improving the removing the statistical artifact caused by the steganography. So they concentrated on minimizing the distortion by introducing the distortion functions in the steganography. And that variant of that work continued till 2017. And after that, they introduced a method called GAN steganography in 2018. So why they introduce this GAN, that is the generative adversarial network, is we can embed high capacity. And also why they have introduced this method is because of the rapid improvement of the accuracy of steg analysis using the deep learning networks. And so this became a threat to the security of the steganographic algorithms. So how they have modeled this GAN is they have constructed the encoding network composing of residual blocks to hide the secret data. And then, and what happens is at the decoder, you can see the image here. So there will be an encoder and a stego image will be created. And at the decoder side, they can retrieve it back, secret. But in this GAN network, there will be a discriminator and a generator, right? So discriminator, we are giving the input to the discriminator so that we can learn adversarially. So from the discriminator, if it is able to classify cover and stego, we will again strengthen our method. So that portion will take place in the encoder part. So encoder, we can play around this encoder and do the research. So in encoder, it can be a basic encoder or residual encoder, or we can make it a dense encoder. So that is the research in this. So we are making this encoder strong enough so that the steganographic algorithm can resist the detection of steganalysis. Next is the application of blockchain with steganography. So why we mainly use steganography along with blockchain is to prove the unique ownership of the digital assets. So we know that the technologies like blockchain, cybersecurity have found practical application in digital assets like art, video, music that are transacted from the sender to the receiver with solid proof. So how the steganography play a role in this is, it will bind the asset, that is the digital image, which has to be preserved with a unique cryptographically generated token called non-fungible tokens. So this is just to get a feel of how this is done. So there will be a token which is unique to a particular art. So that will be hidden inside the inside the art or the collectibles. So actually this work is done collaboratively with our center with an industry. So we will be delivering them the new steganographic algorithm and cryptographic functions. So how this is applied in the blockchain is, here you can see blockchain based NFT for the collectibles. So the token which we obtain from the collectible image, there will be some portion of the token. Here you can see this is the left hand side is the token which will contain some hash values, and from which user to which user the art has been transferred, and all those details is the secret. So that secret will be hidden inside the collectible, and also from that token we will generate some secret shares using the NLSS, non-linear secret sharing schemes, and from the art also we will produce some shares. So that will be XORed, and that shares will be put into the IPFS. And also the server will give a QR code to the user also. So when the user want to verify that prove his ownership art, it has not been modified, he will just use the QR scan, and then he will get one of the share from the IPFS, and he will check that secret data. And also from the image where we have hidden, he will extract that and he will compare with the two secrets, and then he will prove that prove the ownership of the digital assets. So we have introduced a hide steganography for embedding that token. So here we will be using our proprietary encryption algorithm, and then we will get a marked encrypted image. And when he want to prove the secret image, the extraction algorithm will be done, and we will get the token as the secret. And there is from this information we will get an edge pixels in the decoding process. And once we reconstruct the image by using the encryption key, using the two images, using these two edge pixels as well as the reconstructed image, we will get the original input back. So that art will be reconstructed the same, and there won't be any modification. And next recent paper was in blockchain-based image steganography. So here they are using a steganographic method like SPAM PSO, that is particle swam optimization, and also a hash function to hide the data. And then this will be put into the blockchain. So where they have applied this is to securely update and share the COVID-19 data in decentralized hospital. So that mainly the advantage they faced was the confidentiality, integrity, and the network failure, which will result in the data availability. So using this method, they could securely update and share the solution for large amount of healthcare information. And also the data was available because it was a decentralized network. Next thing is the network steganography. We can use these covered channel. It can be used over networks by using the network protocols in an unexpected way. So actually, we all know that structured information means in the network packet, it is the header, data, and trailer. So normally the firewall and intrusion detection system check only the data portion. So we can use the header and trailer to hide the data. So one of the students have done this method on hiding method in VoIP for secure authentication and to prove the authentication and data integrity. And later it was converted as a product in the Palladium network. So main important of this is it is very hard to detect this network steganography. Next, coming to the next method, watermarking. Then main importance of this is the eavesdropper cannot remove or replace the watermark. So it should be robust to attempts to modify or against any signal processing operations. So why we need this is because we know digitization allows us to do unlimited number of copies of intellectual product. So we have to use that copying as well as we have to protect it in a way that is legally accepted. So we go for this watermarking technique. So recent, just listing here 2 recent watermarking methods. That is a fine-grained watermark for intellectual property protection. So here, this is mainly for protecting the digital contents from plagiarism and unauthorized copy. So they have done a good work here, and how they have done is by replacing the original symbols and white space with identical or almost identical unique symbols. So algorithm embeds the watermark binary symbols in that new text. So we can see that after doing this, it is indistinguishable from the original because we are just replacing the original symbols with almost identical one.
This is just a reminder, there is only a minute left.
Okay. So the next one is the using the smart contract. So this work also to avoid the losses caused for the copyright holders. And the last method is the software obfuscation. So this work we are currently working on, and we are working for a DRDO project. So here we have introduced a new method using the secret sharing scheme. So already an XMark watermark paper is there. So what we have done is in XMark watermark, they are using a collage function to embed the watermark in the source code, because normally now everyone is putting their source code in GitHub and all those things. No, so we have to make it obfuscated. So a collage function is introduced to obfuscate the function. So what work we have done is the watermark value which have to be embedded in the code, we will split using the SAML secret sharing scheme, and this will be given to the collage conjecture. And then using that we can embed the watermark, and extraction can be possible using the instrumentation. So this is just the overview of what I have told. That is watermarking embedding. So this is the left side is the source code, and there will be a collage conjecture, and then this left hand side source will be made into an obfuscated code by using this collage conjecture. So what part we have done is we have used this phi function. We have generated the watermark using the SAML secret sharing scheme. So that's all the 3 methods which we can use for the covered channels.
Thank you, ma'am, for explaining the various applications of steganography.
Thank you. If you have any queries, you can just mail me.
You could type your email in the chat.
Okay. Okay, then shall I stop sharing?
Yes, ma'am.